a show. It's a podcast show. Welcome to the Julie Cross Podcast Show. Empowering, energising and entertaining. Hi friends, Julie Cross here. Just today I wanted to talk a little bit about success, I guess, in the journey of getting where you're going. And it's a simple thing, but we miss it sometimes and we overlook it. And so success starts small with some things and then it leads to bigger things. And I think that sometimes we forget that. And just as an example of what I'm meaning here, when I first started speaking and doing my public shows or even getting in front of any audience, you've got to work hard to find that audience and to gather that audience. And it's not always a big audience when you first start, of course. And so looking back, and I'll just use this example because I recently went to Emerald to do a show there that was organised by somebody in the community. But I first went to Emerald quite a few years ago, and I went with knowing a girlfriend out there in the hairdressing industry, and she gathered a few people in the room. So she could only gather about 8 people in the room. And I was doing something out that way anyway, so it was worth going out and seeing her. And I said, well, let's share something with these 8 people in the room. So I gave the very best show I could possibly give with those 8 people in the room. Did I make any money out of that? No, not at all. But sometimes that's the price you've got to pay to get where you're going. I give and I receive. You give and then you get back. And sometimes it takes a while to come around. So do I leave then feeling despondent at only having 8 people in the room? Or do I leave feeling fantastic knowing I made a difference to those 8 people in the room? Because I want to go out and every day and make a difference in somebody's life. So, in fact, I did achieve that. Did I get the monetary reward at that time? No. I caught up with my girlfriend. I had a great time. So I had a very soul-filling journey, that is for sure. And I know I made a difference to somebody in that room that night. Now, there are some professionals on their journey to success that would then go, well, that didn't work. I couldn't get the people in Emerald. Nobody in Emerald wants to see me. Or those regional areas don't get it. I'm not going back there. But you see, that would be the wrong attitude. As long as you've done your best with those 8 people, and as long as you didn't take that attitude on the stage with you to share with that audience and you relate that to your business. Because I would then go back, and it would be some 18 months later, and it would be an event that the council organised on the recommendation from somebody who saw me at that original first show with 8 people. So I would go back and do this event with the council, and maybe there was 30 to 40 people in the room this time. And I give the best performance I possibly can on that stage of 30 and 40 people. And this time I did get paid to be there, and I got paid to go there. So there you go. That's the first step, and you're already making progress, but it takes a while sometimes. I would then go back maybe 2 years later, which was just recently, and there would be well over 100 people in the room this time. And so this is how it works. This is how success works. It takes a while to come around. You got to plant the seed. You got to water it. You got to fertilize it by giving your best performance once you've planted that seed there. And then it has a germination period. And sometimes that germination period is years, sometimes it's a matter of weeks, and sometimes it's months. But it has a germination period. And the minute you go, well, that didn't work, I'm not doing that anymore. See, I knew it wouldn't work. That is like digging up the seed and throwing it out. You may as well have dug up the seed and thrown it out. It can't germinate now because your attitude's not watering it, fertilising it, nurturing it. So from that event in Emerald that I just did recently that had well over 100 people, I have now got a job where I'm going back to Springshore, and I'm speaking to a mining group there, a ladies in lunch mining group there. And so that job, and yes, that's a big paid job, and that job came directly from me being on that stage in Emerald. Now, if I could cite another 10 things that might come from that, but if I hadn't have given my best on the stage just with the 8 people, none of those other things would have happened. None of them. And so there's a big lesson for all of us in that. There is there's no activity that doesn't make a difference. So there's no audience that is too small. There is no moment of engagement that doesn't matter. It all matters. And own each of those moments with the belief that somehow you're planting a seed, you're watering, you're fertilising, you're nurturing it to eventually pick your crop and get the rewards. And remember, sometimes it takes a while to come around. I said before, you don't know how long your germination period is. It takes a while to come around. But what I do know is you plant one seed, you water, you fertilise it, you nurture it, you pick an abundance of tomatoes off that one seed. You know, we live in a world of instant noodles. You've heard me say this before. We live in a world of instant noodles. We want it in 2 minutes. You won't get the biggest reward in just 2 minutes. It takes a while sometimes. So please make the most of those interactions. See the bigger vision of what you're doing in every moment. It's not just about the interaction now. It's about what comes from every interaction. I hope that helps. See ya.
If you'd like to attend one of my public shows or book me to speak at your next conference, please visit juliecross.com.au.